Let's now welcome Kgomotso Papo, Child Participation Advisor at Save the Children South Africa. Kgomotso, a very good afternoon to you. So a really important summit, this one, that seeks to basically bring together children from across the continent to discuss among themselves as well as adults matters affecting them in the continent, especially when we as a country are currently dealing with the issue of the Kwekwe as well as other child rape victims, children who have been grossly violated.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. Indeed, the Africa Children's Summit is a critical platform, especially after the incidences of Kwekwe. But then it is not only because it brings together the children from across the continent, but because it puts children at the center of the conversations. We often talk about the children's issues without the children in the house. The summit is about recognizing children as active participants, in shaping the solutions to the challenges that they are facing, rather than just being the passive audience where adults keep on talking about them without them. And when we're talking about the issue of Kwekwe, is very, very devastating because there are many Kwekwes out there that need to be able to be given platforms to also raise their voices. This actually painful reminder says that we need to create safe spaces for children to play around our communities where adults understand that children are children, and we're not just talking about the physical spaces. We also are talking in terms of the spaces where children are being held, like the current summit that is happening, the protection of the children. And when children are held, are also believed, because often adults tend to not believe what the children are saying. And as adults, it's our responsibility to listen to children, because sometimes when children are talking, we just are saying that, no, we'll attend it some other time, and all of those is to listen to the children. We act on what the children are saying and to strengthen the systems that need to be protecting the children in this country, and currently they're failing them. We must ensure that children's voices are not only heard during these gatherings. Child participation should be a continuous thing. It's not a momentary thing where we have got an event, children are gathered, okay, so what? We need to be able to have these gatherings at all the time when we're developing policies, when we are having challenges in the countries, like the challenges of teenage pregnancy, the challenges of molestation of the children, and also child trafficking. We need to talk with the children and ask for the solutions from them. So Kwekwe's case is one of the cases that are too many in the country that we hardly really talk about, that we hardly really inform children about them. They're just surprised that Kwekwe has been molested, and there are so many Kwekwes out there. Thank you.
Kgomotso, it's quite concerning because, we understand, as important as this gathering is, it is the second biannual one. What type of feedback maybe as Save the Children? Because we did speak to you last year ahead of their first one, inaugural a meeting that was also hosted by the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. So what was the type of feedback that you actually received from last year? Because I'm asking this because I'm wondering, are such gatherings fruitful though? Or merely just talk shops that never really address the pertinent issues that actually affect children, not that there are many, from safety, malnutrition, health-related matters. And we can spend all day highlighting them, but here in the country, these challenges are only exacerbating with all the policies and child rights and all these that are supposed to safeguard the rights of our children.
That is a very, very valid concern, and I completely understand the frustrations from the country and also from yourself, especially when we continue to witness such heartbreaking cases of violence, malnutrition, and all of those, the basic services of the children that are not being met, despite having those strong policies and the frameworks on papers as we are having in the country. But I must say, gatherings like the African Children's Summit, the Children's Parliaments that we are having in this country, it's not just a talk show. There are critical spaces where children are not only raising their voices, but also shaping the agenda. What we need to confront is not whether the platforms are useful, but rather why are the commitments made after such gatherings often fall flat? From the Children's Parliament, you get the manifesto from the children. You get the declarations from the children. But then what happens after that?
Where's the
for adults.
implementation?
Where is the implementation? You know, the real issues lies in the gap between what is said and what is being done. And us as adults, institutions and government, we must move beyond the tokenist engagements that we're having. You know, children are gathered here in Parktown and they're busy discussing on their own. Where are adults to listen to them on a daily basis, not just on the opening and closing of the summit? Because when children were discussing their frustrations, you were not there. You're just seeing the shorter vision of what is written on papers. You know, these challenges won't be solved, of course, overnight, but we cannot afford to silence the children because we have been having too many gatherings and we are not really seeing the results. These platforms need to be dismissed. No, their insights are real because really their experiences. What we need to do, what we need right now is the political wills around the children's rights. You know, the children's rights are just there, but then they are not mainstreamed across all the departments. You know, we need proper resourcing. Child participation is not also resourced in the country. If you need to have the gathering of the children, you struggle to get resources, especially us from the NGO sectors. You know, we need the genuine partnerships with these children. For it not to be a tokenism, we really need to strengthen the voices of the children in this country. And we often call the children when we need them, if we call them, you know. It is not a daily routine thing. So we need to, for us to see the impact, we really need to strengthen child participation in the country.
Absolutely. I mean, we have youth and children ministry. We've got, you know, child rights-based and protection-focused NGOs like yourselves, Kgomotso. So there really needs to be intensified collaboration to make that significant impact on all these, you know, on all these talk shops or these gatherings that are actually supposed to provide some solutions to the current challenges that we do face. Kgomotso, thank you so much for your input this afternoon. Kgomotso Papo is from Save the Children on the Children's Summit that is currently underway here in Johannesburg.